They're gonna know what we want them to know.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Hello and welcome to my top 10 worst movies of 2017. It's been a great year for movies, but there's also been a number of stinkers. Before I get to my top 10, here are a few films which just missed out, but are worth a mention. Logan Lucky, that's the first one, and it's a perfect example of everything worth watching is in the trailer. So save yourself 2 hours and just watch that. Then there's Tony Erdmann, a 3-hour German comedy that was critically acclaimed. Well, no comedy needs to run 3 hours, and this is no exception. Apart from an interesting opening scene, none of it is beyond implausible. Then there's Pet, where Dominic Monaghan works in a dog pound by day, then locks up a young waitress by night. She's barely in the cage a day before she turns into a gibbering wreck, and the film takes almost every predictable step in the captive booklet, and you can see the end coming a mile off. Then there's Carnage, Swallowing the Past. Simon Amstel works veganism and so-called man-made global warming into a piece of propaganda. And finally, Baywatch. It takes a well-known TV show and turns it into a generic F-word comedy. Sadly, it made enough money to commission a sequel. Now on to the top 10.
I'm about to get naked. So no bacon. I said no bacon.
You have no idea what you have unleashed.
What the hell?
How did you get out of that plane? There's not a single scratch on your body.
At number 10, The Mummy. And since a Tom Cruise film made number 10 in the top 10 best movies with American Made, he also has that honour in the top 10 worst movies. Like Marvel with the Avengers and Warner with their DC Comics universe, Universal wanted to create a dark monsters universe, so over the years there'd be Frankenstein, Dracula and so on. But with this terrible effort, Tom Cruise has killed this universe before it's even begun.
Does Liz get a new top? No, we've seen that before. Never with that skirt. Should probably stop staring before it gets creepy, though.
Too late. You guys are losers.
Number 9, Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes, I'm getting a little tired of superhero movies as they're all pretty much the same, but what they need is humour. What they don't need is to run for 2.5 hours. Tom Holland can't act, Michael Keaton just phones it in, and the only 2 aspects I enjoyed were Marissa Tomei as Aunt May and the hilarious end credit scene, but to get that, you'd have to sit through the rest.
Take him off.
And number 8 is 50 Shades Darker. I sat through the first one and it was terrible. The second was even worse. She wants kinky fuckery, he has love balls. Neither have any chemistry. Once again she returns to his S&M dungeon, but I feel most sorry for whoever has to do the cleaning.
This is your second chance.
What do you want from me?
Your past. You're about to enter the Animus. What you see, hear, and feel are the memories of your ancestor, who's been dead for 500 years.
Wait a minute!
Welcome to the Spanish Inquisition.
And number 7, Assassin's Creed. You've probably forgotten about this one, and you'd be right to, since it came out on January the 1st last year and it was terrible. Sometimes these video games are very entertaining. You're thrown into a world from the past with a number of missions to complete. The only bit I didn't like about those is that since your real body is in the real world in a device called the Animus, it's when you're transported back into the real world that the feeling of the game is lost. And the film does that way too much, as if they'd hired a director who'd never even heard of the game.
This is our busiest time of the year at work. I waxed 39 pussies today. Who's next? Oh my God. Since when did every woman in America need a completely hairless vagina on Christmas?
And number 6, Bad Moms Christmas. I really enjoyed the first film, but this sequel was rushed just so they could make a Christmas film. Sadly, bar one or two, they forgot to include any jokes.
Fuck. Holy shit.
What's going on?
I would like you to stop my heart. You give it 1 minute, and then you bring me back.
And number 5, Flatliners. Now, the 1990 original is one of my all-time favourite films. It did not need a remake. They were going to try and tie it in with the original when they brought Kiefer Sutherland into it, but then threw that idea out and just made him the professor to the 5 students. That left them with nothing worth watching.
Okay, now's the point where you say it's all a joke.
Welcome to the Ministry of Information Film Division. Mr. Buckley seems to think you're what we need.
For doing what?
We'll need someone to write the slop.
Slop?
Women's dialogue.
I thought it was a secretarial post.
Oh, for God's sake, keep that to yourself.
30 million attend the cinema every week. Your film must show your American sisters that this is a war their husbands should be fighting.
And number 4, we have Their Finest, based on the novel Their Finest Hour and a Half, in case you wondered why the title didn't make a huge heap of sense and was wildly ambiguous. This centres around a film company trying to make morale-boosting movies during World War II, where everyone's overacting. In this movie, not the ones within. Bill Nighy is Bill Nighy. There's British actors doing dodgy German accents as if we're in a lower low, and for the rest it's predictable, self-satisfied and deeply tedious.
Let me talk to you about the future.
It crashed.
Grab the temp guy.
You really saved my ass in there. Maybe you can come over to our house, have a look at our internet.
Ed Porter, ma'am. I'm the IT guy.
This is our daughter, Kaylin.
Hi. You know, smart panels in your home have built-in cameras, right?
I had them disabled. I like my privacy.
Good luck with that.
And number 3, it's IT. No, not It, the one with Pennywise the Clown, although that did leave a lot to be desired, but IT. Pierce Brosnan runs a company which is about to do for planes what Uber did for taxis, although exactly how you get a plane to your front door is never really explained. He hires temp IT guy James Freshville to rewire his home with tech gizmos, at which point it quickly descends into a pathetic stalker/chase movie, and you've seen it all before. Director John Moore was previously responsible for Bruce Willis's A Good Day to Die Hard. John Moore should be bound in chains and thrown into the sea.
This is so much fun!
Oh God.
Let's get to the beans. Let's get to the beans.
Make it feel special. My turn!
Oh, shit! Does anybody have CPR? I'll look it up on YouTube. Somebody call an ambulance!
He's dead.
And number 2, Rough Night. 5 women reunite 10 years after high school because one of them's getting married, but at the private hen party they end up killing the stripper and must dispose of the body. It makes Weekend at Bernie's look like Citizen Kane. Even from the trailer, Rough Night looked like a series of rough ideas that should have been thrown into the toilet rather than turned into a movie. When I watched this film, this was confirmed.
Oh, God. No, Jesus. No, 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 no.
The images feel more real in 3D. There's a lucidity to it. You really feel like you're there.
No, this is not the real number 1 since I love Terminator 2. However, it was originally released in 1991 and I'm throwing this in here as the worst idea for a movie. I love 3D when it's done well, and in 2017 only one live action film was made in 3D. Transformers The Last Night. It made no sense, but looks amazing in IMAX 3D. Retrofitting films into 3D like Terminator 2 is exactly the kind of money-making scam that should be stamped out. Get the 2D Blu-ray instead.
Welcome to the Loser Lounge, where the emojis who never get used hang out.
What's up, High Five?
I'm an emoji. I've got to have some sort of purpose here.
I'm gonna help you. We need to get off the phone and find the source code.
Then I can fit in.
Let's roll!
And finally, at number 1, Emoji Movie. The one film this year that has 0 redeeming features. It's also the film where Patrick Stewart is a talking poo, and James Corden continues to prove he's as funny as a pile of shit.
So I told management, I can't work like this. These lights, I'm melting in here. This is such a load of...
No, go ahead. Finish that sentence.